so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked.
That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are live as fuck, dude. We've never been more live. It's never happened before. We've been live. I don't know if we've been this live.
Are you recording though? Are you live and recording?
I thank you for the reminder. I am live. I'm both live and recording. Welcome,
nice
boys and girls, to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast. Episode number 139. They just fly by at this point. You could have told me it's episode 172 and I would have not blinked. I've been like, oh, okay, I guess. Just
episode 139, and out of those last 39, probably about 36 of them were Q&A. It's going to be 37 tonight, huh?
Well, we'll get into it. Episode 139, indeed. Welcome, boys and girls, to the show. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. I am joined, as I sometimes am, by... So normally my partner here is in a place.
Really?
And it's not the studio. And he loves this place so much that he owns a fucking hat. He owns merch related to the place where he's always missing the program. And that is, of course, Zion National Park. Tanner, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right.
I mean, I don't own... You bought me this merch, so...
Well, you're wearing it. I didn't make you wear it. I could have.
Cool. I'll burn it and throw it away then.
As your employer, I could have made you wear it.
I'll put it in the trash can and burn the entire trash can. How about that?
Make it a talk, and then we'll talk. Those are homophones? Right? Yeah. All right, anyways, welcome to the show. Today we have an episode planned. It is not Q&A. Tanner's baiting you. It's a real episode. It's going to be fun and exciting. And I won't ruin the surprise just yet for you live frogs. But if you're, if you're one of the 99% actually who is not a live frog, then you already know what the episode's about. But we'll get into it, so just stay put. Welcome to our new gold fucking patrons, Clapthrax. Cool avatar. Name is... don't know about it. Don't like it, I have to say. A lot of people hated it a lot more than me, though. But it's capitalized. There's no dog shit numbers. Clapthrax. What are your thoughts on that name, Tanner?
It's awful.
You hate it, don't you?
It's not great, yeah.
It's not great. Well, he's a new gold patron. Luke the Bruce, absolutely change it. Desert Rat 84. You and Tanner would get along splendidly. And very much Jess. Boys.
Too old for me, 84.
And girls. Welcome to the fucking Patreon. Welcome to the Thunderdome, dude. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Welcome to our new platinum fucking patron, Shitty Wizard, but it's SCH instead of SH.
Clever.
Which is interesting. If your last name's like shit or something, is that a real last name? SCHIT?
Schmidt. What about Schmidt?
I've heard that one before, supposedly. That is a last name that's fabled. Shitty Wizard, change your name. Thank you. The platinum fucking patronage. And we had some fucking upgraders, dude. We had some fucking upgraders. Rizzly boy. Damascus simply wasn't good enough for him. Instead of $20 a month, for some unknown reason, which we'll take, of course, has upgraded from $20 to $30 a month. Let's go.
Let's go.
Rizzle Music, friend of the pod, supplier of the Dropshot official playlist, of course. Rizzle Music with a K. With the upgrade. Thank you, Rizzle. Very kind and generous. And I appreciate you, dude. Also, Snob went from gold to an annual Damascus membership, which is just on demon time. Just absolutely twisted. Let's fucking go, Snob. Welcome aboard, brother. 2 upgrades in 1. High IQ play right there, and we appreciate it. And so, someone else had that idea, and it was, of course, the one and only, our first Obsidian patron, the Dropshot Patriarch, of course. You know him, you love him, the Vaping Viking. Went from gold to annual Damascus, dude. Boys, I love you, I appreciate you, thank you.
A lot of smart people.
A lot of giant galaxy brains who support this program. Now, they're, of course, dumb, but we appreciate the generosity and the support. If you guys go annual, by the way, for you fucking patrons listening, it'll save you money. It'll save you 16%. So, you're going to be here anyway. We won't get canceled, I promise. I promise we won't get canceled. We won't be deplatformed. Not in a year. So, hey, save yourself some money. Get on the annual train, dude. Save yourself some money. But really, thank you guys very much. Very much appreciated. Patreon.com/the Dropshot. Bonus eps, weekly hangouts, and more. And the weekly hangouts are for all of our patrons, in fact. And we do them on Friday nights, most of the time. And so, we had one last night. And last night's Patreon hangout, we didn't do a goddamn thing. And I was on for 7 hours. That's how fun they are, right?
7 hours, huh? Wow.
Well, 7 to 3 is what? No, 8 hours, I guess. 7 to 3, right? 5, yeah. 8 hours, cool. So I stayed in a Discord channel for 8 hours. Guess what I wouldn't have done for 8 hours, by the way?
Play the video game Call of Duty Warzone.
Correct. Fucking Rebirth Island customs. Not doing it. Can't do it. I can't do it. My adrenal glands simply can't take it.
Got it.
But we did do a nice little fucking hangout last night, and it was very fun. There were some new frogs there. Jess, new frog. Mateo, new frog. I think there might have been a couple others. I don't know if it was Walter's first time. I don't think it was.
I think Walter came, to the last one before that,
I think he might have, yeah. And then Blue, also. I don't know how many, if any, he's been to, but he was there as well. He's an Italian man. He's the most Italian man I've ever seen. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Just that simple. Who lives in Canada. And I was trying to ascertain, why would any Italian move to Canada? Why would you go from a beautiful...
Wait, who did that?
Blue. When he was 10 years old, get doxxed. When he was 10 years old, he moved from Italy, that beautiful jewel in the Mediterranean, that sun-kissed jewel, Italy.
So shut up.
And he moved to
jewel.
fucking Canada, dude, where there's just snow. There's snow and communism. That's all you'll find in Canada.
Yeah, there is.
So I found that very curious. So we tried to figure that out. We got nowhere, of course. But nonetheless, the hangout was both fun and exciting, I would say. What were your thoughts on yesterday evening?
It was fun and exciting. And for the first time ever, we bullied somebody into showing their face for the first time ever, right?
True!
We bullied Mullet. We bullied him so much he was on the verge of tears. Because I said, Mullet, show your damn face, turn on the webcam. After weeks of asking, he finally did it. Now, of course, I recorded that entire thing. So if you don't want me to publicly release that, the Dropshot LLC is requesting a payment of 10,000 United States dollars, or it goes live.
Which is, of course, true, yes.
Or the video goes live, Mullet. So it's totally up to you. Money should be in there by Monday morning. Otherwise, see ya.
True.
But yeah, we finally fucking bullied him enough. He's built like a D1 athlete for sure.
You can tell, yeah.
I mean, he could snap you like a twig. Not me, of
Well.
course. I'm built, but he could snap you like a twig easily.
What I found interesting about Mullet's stupid fucking body was this. Wide athletic shoulders, and I was shocked that they were almost as wide as mine are.
They were probably 2 inches wider than yours, but continue.
Cap.
Okay.
No one could do that. That's not physically possible, but it was very impressive. So that was a moment for sure. But yeah,
Got it.
It was a very good time. So appreciate you guys coming out. And if you don't come out for these because fucking talking to people sounds boring to you, you don't have friends. You need to talk to people.
Yeah.
I'll just do. I'm gonna do you a favor for your family and say, come to the Hangouts because it will save you.
Yeah.
It will simply save you. You guys don't have friends. You know that. You're listening to a podcast about Call of Duty right now, but you're gonna tell me you have friends?
Don't mess with us. You don't have friends. Yeah.
Who are you kidding, dude? Who are you kidding?
Yeah.
Stop the cap, as they
So
say.
Yeah.
But yeah, come out if you're a patron. It's fun. It's a lot more fun than customs. And by the way, that reminds me, I was seeing some clamoring in the Discord amongst some disgruntled patrons who want the customs to come back. And here I will again remind you, customs are way less fun than you think they are. And hanging out and not doing shit is way more fun than you think it is. I promise you, because we've done both dozens of times. Sometimes customs are fun for a while, but everyone is too fucking dumb. The team captains are not good people. They lack integrity, they lack moral fiber, and they have no self-discipline or control over their impulses or their emotions, and they have single-handedly, this small group of people, just like the 1%, dude, Occupy Wall Street, right? They just single-handedly ruined it for the rest of us.
Oh, they did. Yep.
So blame them. But for real, trust me, it's not as fun as you think. And everyone that I was seeing, by the way, who's like wanting customs, none of them have played customs before.
Yeah.
That's why they're asking for it, because they don't realize how bad it is.
It's like we have to do it once a month just to remind people how bad it is. So for when new people join, we have to just do it so then they realize how awful it is.
True. That is perhaps true. So you know what? Maybe we'll fuck around and do customs at a time, but you're not going to have fun. I'm going to make a list.
You won't have any fun. Yeah.
I'm going to make a list of people who want to do customs, and I'm going to require them be there.
Yeah.
Require they be there.
Or we don't do it. Every single one has to be there or we don't start customs.
Excellent idea. So, anyways, whatever. All that to say, it might come back at a time, but, you know, don't hold your breath. But anyways, thank you for everyone who showed up. That was actually really fun. And then we have two little announcements here. Tanner, what are we looking at?
So podcast listeners who are not here live, of course, or in the Discord, this is your final reminder. The Rebirth Island Patreon tournament is next Saturday, which is June 12th at 1 p.m. Pacific. Now, listen up closely here. Registration closes on Wednesday, June 9th at midnight. So by the time this podcast is uploaded, you have like 3 days to sign up. Go to the Patreon lounge in Discord. If you're not linked, figure it out. It tells you how to link your Discord to your Patreon. Go to the channel. It's called Rebirth Tournament. Check the pinned messages. It's a little button at the top, and it gives you a Google document that you register for the tournament. Go to that it's a Google form. What are they called? Google whatever. Anyways, you fill it out. Yeah, Google form. You submit it, and then needs that to form the team. So if you don't have a team and can't find one, I don't care. Just register. We'll make the team for you. You don't need to have your team set. Just register for it by the cutoff, please, so that we can make all these teams and, get everything settled and figured out. And then, of course, since we're having the tournament next Saturday, which is June 12th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. We won't be doing a podcast next Saturday night, by the way.
Correct.
It's simply canceled. So
yeah, it's never been more canceled. So that is that. And if you don't want to participate, whether or not you are a patron, be sure to mark it off anyway and watch live. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fucking mess, right? It's going to be awful, a disaster, but it's going to be fun. Bear witness, dude, because it's going to be a nightmare, but it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah. Is it going to be worse than the gunfight tournament? Oh my God, by a mile.
Oh,
so much worse. It's going to be a disaster getting the lobbies set up. It's going to be terrible. But just, stop by and make fun of us, if anything. If you don't care about watching the tournament, just stop by, type in chat, say, Jesus, this is an awful production. You guys are dog shit. And give us the viewer. Give us the average viewer. True.
Yes. It'll be fun. It will be a mess, but it's going to be a beautiful, fun mess. And, this is just going to be some practice for Goat and us to kind of refine how these things are done so we can maybe do bigger tournaments next time related to like Warzone, Rebirth, whatever. So be there. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a really good time. The community events are always fucking bangers, dude. They're fire. We've had one. It was a banger though. So don't skip it.
It was a banger, dude. It was way better than we thought it'd be.
Yes, it was.
Rough start, but we won't have that rough start this time. We will. There will be plenty of other rough issues, but the casting part, that won't be there because that's where, we're solid. We're casters. We're full-time Warzone casters.
That is of course true. And I will be accepting job offers from those. I'm done. Last announcement. Our first Patreon episode of the month is absolutely live. It's just simply never been more live. Now, what did we tell you guys? We said we're planning Patreon episodes on Mondays now, and they'll probably be up that week. And what fucking happened? We fucking figured it out on Monday, and it's up this week.
It's so up.
It's never been more up.
It's so high up, dude. It's up.
It's absolutely up on the internets. So check that out. It was very good, actually. And it's very, I wouldn't say topical, but I guess it kind of is. But I won't spoil it. You guys should listen to it. It's very good. And Tanner and I enjoyed recording it very much. So that is up there.
Yes, sir.
In case you have noties off or something, change it. So with that, I think we're about ready to get this fucking party fucking started.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
God, some of these Q&A questions are so bad. I don't even want to answer half these, but yeah.
All right.
We'll get it going.
Oh, that's the wrong button. If you're listening for the jingle, that wasn't it, but this is it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, people were shocked that we got it up that early. Did you notice that?
No.
Cool.
I didn't. I was too busy writing all of these notes.
Your Discord level keeps lowering when I talk, and it's making me furious. I don't know if it's on your end or my end, but I checked my settings in Discord. They're all the same. Nothing changed.
Interesting.
Check your attenuation or whatever it is. Make sure it didn't change.
Let's fucking check it out, little pussy boy. All right. So today we're doing an episode. First, we are starting with playlist updates, and there were none. So that section's now done. Now, on to the topic of today's episode. So, what did we say we were going to do? We were going to start No. We said we were going to start planning Saturday episodes on Mondays. So what did we do? We planned a fucking Q&A Saturday episode. I'm just kidding. Today, we're going to be talking about Rebirth Island. Tips, tricks, and thoughts, basically. Now, this is going to be interesting and good for two groups of people. Number one, people who play fucking Warzone and like Warzone, but don't play Rebirth Island or don't like Rebirth Island. Or number two, if you do play Rebirth Island maybe you'll learn something, or you'll at least get a different perspective. Now, the reason we're doing this episode is because we've been playing a lot of Rebirth lately, and it turns out it's pretty goddamn fun, which is interesting. So we had tossed this idea around because we're obviously going to be casting that community tournament on Rebirth Island in, a week. So we were like, let's play a little Rebirth to kind of get acquainted, to become
learn the map, learn some spots,
better casters, get some intimate knowledge. So we did that, and then we were like, damn, that's fun, actually. Let's keep playing that. And now that's all we've played. I've played exactly one match of Verdansk in the past 2 weeks. Everything else has been Rebirth. Literally.
No,
or 2 matches.
About 5 days.
Cap.
Okay. We'll check the VODs.
Yeah, we can check the VODs. Probably not 2 weeks, but whatever. It feels like a while. So since we kind of have enjoyed it a lot more than we had expected to, we figured let's do a goddamn episode on it. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we've broken this up into a couple different sections. And we're going to start with the differences between Rebirth Island and Warzone. So these are some things that, as primarily Verdansk players, Warzone players, we found interesting about Rebirth. Because obviously you can still play, there's still a gulag in Mini Royale. A lot of things are similar, but there are some key differences that are worth mentioning. So number one, and this is actually number one, you fall faster out of the plane. Don't know why. And because of that, you have to pull your chute earlier than you do in regular Verdansk. So if you're let's say 10 feet off the ground is the lowest you can pull a chute. In Warzone, it's 15 feet on Rebirth Island. I've broken my legs at least a dozen times because I'm used to the Warzone timing and it's not correct. You have to pull the chute a little early on Rebirth Island. Have you experienced this leg breaking Broadway experience?
I did once, but it doesn't seem to happen to me more than it does in Verdansk or anything. Do you actually fall faster? I'm pretty sure it's just you're way lower to the ground to start with, so it throws you off, right? Actually fall faster? Either way, you hit the ground
sooner,
quicker than you would otherwise in Verdansk. But that is true. That is something you need to think about if you don't have auto parachute on. You need to make sure to, which you shouldn't, yeah. But I've gotten it timed pretty well since I've played so much of it the last few days that I can get really close to the ground and then pull it, dude. And I'm on the ground so fast grabbing a gun. It's insane.
Yeah. I'm getting used to it now, but it took a number of suicides in game, of course, for me to kind of figure that one out. So beware of that, number one. Also, which is kind of interesting, and I want to talk about if you like this. When you first drop in, it's with a pistol, just like in Warzone. But depending on what circle it is, your gun that you drop with will change. So if you're bot back in circle 4, or if you respawn in circle 4, you'll drop in with a Fennec or an AUG, a full auto AUG SMG. And that makes Gulag Gary's people respawning with no loot a lot more dangerous. I think it's happened to me probably twice where I'm shooting some dude who has a loadout with my loadout, and I kill him, or we're embroiled in a battle, and then his teammate will spawn behind me. And if it was regular Warzone, it wouldn't be great, but I'd probably be fine. But since he has a fucking full auto MW AUG, it's just two people just fucking me now. And I'm not sure how I feel about this. And I'm not sure why they chose to go in this direction. But this is something to keep in mind. Do you enjoy this mechanic? What are your thoughts?
Well, to start with, most of what we're talking about is going to be specific to Resurgence. This is also just specific to Resurgence. because Rebirth should only be played on Resurgence because Mini Royale's dog shit. We'll get into it. So I like this a lot in Resurgence though, and I'm not sure exactly. I don't know if it's like the number of times you die change it or if it's just the circles. I haven't been able to quite figure that out yet, but it seems very random. Like I've gotten a ton of different weapons out of it. But I like this idea a lot. This actually happened earlier when we were playing. L, I believe, spawned back in and had like, what did he have, like an Uzi or something, or a Fennec? I don't know. He had some fully automatic gun, but he was able to land on the roof of prison where a team was, or at least one guy was, and he killed the guy and got all of that guy's loot. And that guy had a full loadout and everything, and he was able to take him out. That usually wouldn't happen with the pistol. So I think this is fine and it's balanced because also you can like, you know when somebody's dropping because you hear their parachute. It tells you there's an enemy nearby. So if you get killed that way, you deserve to die, right?
Have you gotten kills dropping in with like a sub?
I've gotten kills with a gun that I've spawned in with. Yeah, it doesn't happen often. Only like probably once or twice.
I think I've done it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's because I usually just don't die, so I just always have my loadout.
Well, yeah. I think I've done it like twice. What is good about it though, I think it's probably fine that they never have extended mags, and that's like a pretty good way to balance it. So if it's a 25 round Fennec, you have 25 rounds, one magazine, and that's it. You got to get looting quick, but it'll allow you to like defend yourself like right away if you need to, which happens all the time on this tiny ass map. So that's probably the reason why they did it. I think it's probably fine. It just is annoying getting fucking gangbanged by fresh spawns when you're just about to kill their teammate or something. It's very cringe. But
yeah,
I think all in all, it's probably a good thing given how small the map is. But that's something to consider. Pay attention to what gun you're dropping with. And then Tanner looked this up, I guess. Or he has some kind of crazy memory.
I just paid attention when we played the video game.
Cap, he looked it up. There's a fire sale in the third circle at 1 minute 5 seconds. So 105 remaining. So on your screen it says 3:105.
That's what it says on your screen.
However, it does not allow you to buy a teammate for free. And it costs $2,000 instead if it's a fire sale rather than $4,000. This I don't understand at all. Very fucking weird. So a fire sale every game, cool, I guess. Kind of fine with that.
Yeah,
I mean, it feels fine. It feels unnecessary, but sure. But why the fuck can't you buy a teammate for free with a fire sale like you can in Verdansk? Like, what is the reasoning for this? It's just weird to me. It doesn't make sense.
Is that how fire sale is Verdansk? I haven't seen a fire sale in Verdansk in so long where I've even attempted to buy anyone back. I mean, it's kind of weird, but also it's like your teammate, what do you even need to buy them back for ever anyways? Because Rebirth isn't disabled, so why would you ever buy a teammate back? There's almost no reason to ever even do that, so it really doesn't even matter at all.
True.
Because it's like Rebirth is not disabled at that point, so why would you spend $2,000? Like the only situation you would do that in is if all of your teammates have a respawn timer of like 30 plus seconds or something. You're all alone, you're close to a buy station, and you need somebody. You can buy someone back real quick. But I've never once bought anyone back, and I don't think it's even necessary. So to me, it doesn't really even matter.
Interesting.
It doesn't have an effect on anything.
This also applies, by the way, to supply runs. So something you guys should keep in mind, if you're playing Resurgence especially, doing supply runs are so fucking easy. Because you pick it up and you run 100 meters and you've passed 5 buy stations, so you can easily finish it. Or if someone dies, they can just land on it. And you have like the same amount of time, like 3 minutes or whatever, like 2 minutes. They're so easy to do. But even if you do a supply run, a teammate isn't free. They're 2,000. Very weird. And I don't know why this is, but it's something to remember. If you're trying to do a supply run real quick to buy back a teammate, make sure you have $2,000. It's not like Verdansk. Which is interesting. So another little difference, RCXD is ground loot in this mode. So, I mean, don't use that streak, but so if you see a little card, that's what it is.
A guy popped his RCXD on me earlier, literally at my feet. All it did is break my 3 plates and do no other damage to me, just the plates. It's just more annoying than anything because the gas stays up for so long. It's way longer than a gas grenade. So it's like you actually have to just leave the area. So it is good at making you leave the area because it lasts so long. It's super dumb, but RCXD it's almost worthless, really. It's like, what?
It's
if
hard
I
to
see them, I don't
drive,
pick them up.
Yeah.
It is very difficult to drive, yes.
Yeah, especially in like buildings and shit. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. More importantly, a loadout drop is only $7,500 on Rebirth. So if you're used to counting to 10, boy, are you going to have trouble. Because now we have an extra fucking integer in there. Well, not really.
Yeah.
It's not an integer. Digit? I don't know.
But that means you get loadout really fast because you have no trouble finding money. It's not like there's less money or something.
True. Real and true. Yes. So just keep that in mind. You only need 7,500 for a loadout on Rebirth Island in either mode. That's the case. And then Tanner, this next one is yours here. What are we looking at?
Yes, there's also, when you're playing Resurgence on Rebirth, there's also spawn protection. So you can headshot someone out of the sky, but only a headshot will down them. So that's why you see a lot of clips of people getting headshots, shooting people out of the air. It's because that's the only thing that'll down them. If you shoot them in the body 100 times when they're floating down, it doesn't matter. It's not going to do anything to them until spawn protection lifts, which is when you're about, I would say probably 10 to 15 meters off the ground. You no longer have spawn protection, then you can shoot that person anywhere on the body. It probably not even 15. It's probably about 10 meters or less is when you can just start shooting them, and then it'll actually do damage. So, this is like very beginner stuff there. But if you haven't played Rebirth yet, know that in Resurgence, if you see someone, don't waste your bullets on them. You're not going to do anything to them. You'll get the hit markers and think you are, but you're not. So don't shoot at them.
Yes. Yeah. And annoyingly, so in multiplayer, if you're shooting someone with spawn protection, you get an icon. You get a spawn protection like icon next to the hit marker. But for whatever reason in Resurgence, this doesn't show up. Or Rebirth Island, whatever. This doesn't show up. So if that's the case, if you're sniping, go for headshots because it's pretty easy. Because a lot of people like to just float when they respawn from Rebirth for some reason, and they are very easy headshots to hit.
Oh, simple.
Super fucking easy, and you can get a nice little TikTok that way. Now, if you are not sniping, don't waste your ammo. But what you can do is use this opportunity to live ping, so that if they start falling, and then you know where they are. But just don't waste your bullets. And you won't, and unfortunately, again, there's no spawn protection hit marker, so you won't really know. And then this last point is if you're playing Mini Royale, the gas is already covering many parts of the map. And then you get 1 minute before it starts moving into the smaller circle. So this is like Mini Royale on Verdansk, because in Verdansk, it's the same way. There's gas on like most of the map. So just keep that in mind, that it is technically Mini Royale. There's no like battle royale, I don't think, that I've ever seen on Rebirth Island. So that is something to consider. It's going to start in a way smaller area of Rebirth than Resurgence will. Because I know a lot of you have probably never played Mini Royale before. But besides that, it's like roughly the same. Go ahead.
Early game on Rebirth Mini Royale is, dude, it's actually hard to pick a landing spot because the circle is so small. That it's like anywhere you land is going to have probably 2 other teams there. It is crazy. It's like, honestly, it's kind of difficult to survive the beginning of the game on Mini Royale because it's so hectic.
Yeah.
Because it's like, literally about half of the map will be cut off, a little less than half the map. So that's not a lot of areas. And depending on where that gas is, a bunch of that could be like in the open areas more. So it's like, cool, prison is in, and parts of like, other random buildings are in, and like, that's it. So you really need to, it's difficult to pick a good landing spot quickly, and then find somewhere where nobody's going to be going.
Yeah,
it's just I don't even think it's possible.
Another thing too about Mini Royale is the first loadout drop happens like 90 seconds after the plane flies over.
It's very early. Yep.
Yeah. So
and it's hard to get.
And it's gonna be hard to get. So the goal should really just be survive, try to get ammo and plates and some money. If you can buy your own loadout and then get ghost on the communal one, that's great, but it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Real rough. And I would say don't worry too much about it. Don't risk your life going to a buy station super early when everyone's still alive, because you'll probably die. Just get ammo, get plates, get cash, wait for the communal one, grab that, and then you can buy ghost yourself. That's probably in general what I would say.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
All right, so those are the differences that we kind of have noticed. I'm positive there are other differences between Rebirth Island and Verdansk, but we didn't think of them or notice them.
There's a bunch more that we didn't put in there and didn't think about, so stay mad. Yeah,
so stay mad. But those are like some big ones, some big impactful ones, particularly like the loadout drop cost. Like don't wait to get 10K because you don't need to. So now we're going to get into some tips for... These are mostly going to apply to Resurgence because that's like pretty much all we've played. So Resurgence
is way more fun, dude.
It is frankly more fun. Yeah. And
we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. But Resurgence, by the way, is where as long as someone's alive on your team, you will respawn after a timer that is by default 40 seconds. But if your teammates earn score, it goes down. The remaining time goes down. So if you have 40 seconds and then your team gets 3 kills, you probably have like 5 seconds left. Like it chunks away at the time a lot.
I think it takes about 8 seconds per kill. So that's something to take note of also. If you have somebody downed if you shot somebody and you've downed them and you have teammates that are waiting to respawn, get that finish ASAP. Don't be dumb if you literally can't and you're getting shot at, then actually you may want to do that. See, you actually may want to take risks to finish people when you otherwise wouldn't, because if you're the last person alive, if that gets the timer down to 0 for one of your teammates, if they respawn, they could save the game for you if you end up dying or something too. So that's something you have to think about, is fully killing people and not just downing them. And then also, I'm pretty sure, I don't think it starts at 40 seconds. I want to say, again, people that only play Rebirth are molding right now, but I feel like it's far less like off the rip. I feel like it's default like 20 seconds. Because when I die early game, by the time the kill cam's gone and everything, it's like I always have like under 10 seconds to go. So I think it changes as the round goes on, actually. Yeah. But either way, like killing gets your teammates to spawn back quicker.
Yeah.
For sure. So that's something to think about. Get those full kills when you have the opportunity to.
Yes. I think you might be right, actually, because I've definitely seen a timer more than 30 seconds. Like, I explicitly remember me having a 33-second timer, but it was pretty late in the game. So it might be something like circle 1 is 10, circle 2 is 20, 3 is 30, something like that. I don't know, but I think you're probably right. We don't know specifics, but that's probably right. But yeah, earning score of any kind lowers the remaining timer. Getting kills happens to be a lot of score. But if you can also like complete a contract too, and that'll lower the timer.
I didn't know this. According to chat, somebody in chat, opening Rebirth boxes also reduces the time for your teammates to come back. Interesting. I did not know that.
Because you do get like a little Rebirth box opened point bonus. It's like 20 or 50 points or something.
And I guess we should mention that for people who haven't played Rebirth, is there are
Good.
Rebirth crates all over the map that respawn. I don't know how often, but it's fairly often. So it makes like this beep, and then all of a sudden you'll hear like the normal Warzone chest sound when there's a chest close by, and you can open it again. Now, there's nothing good in them ever. It's usually like AR ammo, SMG ammo, and like 1 or 2 plates. They're awful, but it's something. And I get like two plates out of them fairly often. So, I mean, either way, you should be opening all the chests, but so those constantly respawn. And I think they do that because the map is so small and you start fighting in a small area so quickly that they want, you to be able to get extra loot and stuff, ammo, plates. So that's why there's, crates all over the map that respawn. And not all of them do that. I would say probably maybe 10-15% of the chests are Rebirth ones.
Yeah.
So,
and they look different. They're like red.
They're like different color. Yeah.
They're very, it's very obvious. If you'll know what we're talking about as soon as you see it.
Yeah.
And the sound it makes when it respawns, by the way, is the sound of a C4 being thrown.
It is. It sounds very similar to a C4.
It's like,
yep.
It's like, deep,
it's almost identical.
Yes,
it may be the same sound. It may be the same sound, just louder, actually.
It's possible.
That's what it seems like to me.
It's possible. Tanner and I both have been like, oh, fuck, someone threw a C4, and it was just one of these dumb crates, like reclosing with more loot in it. So,
you'll get used to that, but it's weird
you'll
at
get
first.
used to it, but it's jarring at first, for sure. So, anyways, now we're gonna get into some tips here. So, Tanner, this is your little tip here, little bud. Let's start us off.
So, here's my first tip. I would almost never get in a vehicle. To start with, the map is so small, you never have to move far enough that you really need a vehicle. The only vehicle I would ever use is also probably the easiest to get shot out of, and that's a helicopter. But at least it gets you somewhere quickly, and it can get you from, all the way at the beach, all the way to the top of prison, to give you like the highest vantage point on the map. Otherwise, cars are awful because like every single person on the map is going to see that car moving pretty much because Rebirth Island is so small. So there's never once been a vehicle that is driven by us where the guy didn't get shot out easily. It's not possible because there's like 2 roads around Rebirth, basically. There's pretty much one. There's like one
road. Yeah.
Yeah, there's pretty much one road. So the person's always driving on that because a lot of the other areas are rocks and things like that, or walls. So if you're driving, you're going to be on a road. You're a free kill, essentially. So don't ever get in a vehicle. Only one I would do at times is like we get in helicopters to move quickly to another area, but be prepared to jump out very quickly because you won't last long. Everyone on the map will be shooting at you. That's what we do. Whenever a helicopter even starts flying close, all of us are just gunning them down. A helicopter has never made it past us without the pilot being shot out, actually. It's super easy. Yeah. So just be prepared to jump out very fast if you're using a helicopter, but I pretty much probably usually would not use a vehicle. Don't get in a car, don't get in an ATV ever on Rebirth.
Yeah, agreed. If you are absolutely forced to get in a terrestrial vehicle, use the SUV. If you must, it's the safest one available, and it's not very safe at all. But if you absolutely must, that should be your first choice. That's the case on Verdansk also, but it's a lot less unsafe in general. But like something we do, like helicopters are still good to use, but literally the only purpose of a helicopter is to take it to the top of prison and throw it at someone. So like,
I've died to that like twice actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
People throwing it at me.
Yeah. I think I don't think anyone clipped it because you guys are shit. But I got a kill on top prison that way. But like, if you land like security area, for example, there's a helicopter that spawns there. It's like at the very bottom right corner of the map. So if you do like land security, you're at the lowest elevation on the entire map, which is not a good spot to be in. Loot it up, buy, whatever. Then what we would do is get in the helicopter and do not fucking mosey about. you take that bitch full speed straight to the top of prison. You don't land it. You scream at everyone to get the fuck out because this thing is going down. You're already half health by the time you make it up to prison. I don't care how fast you're going.
At the
absolute max, yeah. And then you just need to throw that bitch, whether or not there's someone there, and it's just going to explode on top prison. But at least you made it to the top of prison quickly. That's a good reason to use a helicopter. No other reason to. It's not like Verdansk where you're going to be taking this rooftop to loot. There's just no chance. So I agree with this tip. Vehicles are very scary on Rebirth Island.
Yep.
This next tip is a very good tip. Never, ever land on a roof of a building at the start. The entire lobby will land on rooftops because they're dumb, frankly. I mean, this is what, like, people will tend to do a lot in Verdansk. Land on a rooftop, loot their way down, and then they can run out to, like, some other area. This is kind of dumb anyway, by the way, because you'd rather loot up and then jump off because you can move more quickly that way. But either way, whatever. Do not land on top of roofs in this mode.
Yep.
Just because they're so hot. What you want to do, and we learned this the hard way. So what you want to do is land second story or low bottom floor, and then loot your way up.
Yeah, it's always bottom floor for me.
Yeah.
And it's like every single damn time we play, I say, don't land on the roof. L lands on the roof. I land bottom floor. 10 seconds later, he's dead. And then I have 2 full guns and I'm just ready to clap kids, right? And I start moving up and I just kill everyone easily. So I don't know what it is on Rebirth. I guess it's just because it's small and everyone is there's a better chance you're going to land the same building as somebody else than in Verdansk. And so everyone tends to land on the roof. Yeah, so just absolutely land bottom floor. People don't do that. I don't get it. Our favorite spot is usually control center, which we'll get into a little bit more. But bottom roof, I go through the doors. There's always like 3 chests there. I have a gun. I'm fully plated. I have extra plates. And then I start pushing up and fighting people.
Yeah. I also, this isn't like that big of a deal, but it's something to consider. I think it's easier to hear people above you than it is to hear people below you too. So like if you land on the bottom of a building and there's a team up top, it's possible you hear them stomping around and they don't hear you and know you're there. And then you can like fuck them that way. But if people are below you, they hear you. Like they know you're there. You know?
Exactly.
So that's another reason. But the biggest one for sure is because, it's just simply a death trap. And another thing too is if you land on a roof with like another team, let's say you guys win. Like, let's say you guys kill everyone on the rooftop. If you get like trapped there, people are just going to constantly be respawning and landing on the roof waiting to melee you. I think that's another big reason this is such a dumb idea. Because the more I think about it, this happened to me a lot. Where like, we'll land roof, we'll get a kill or 2 or 3. We might even fuck around and get a team wipe.
We do get team wipes often.
We do be getting team wipes. But then other people from other teams will be respawning because it's resurgence. And fresh spawns immediately see some guy on a rooftop. And if they see you plating or something, or if they don't care and they're just dumb, they'll just dive bomb you and start meleeing you.
Yeah.
And there's no better weapon in this game than a pistol whip, apparently.
Oh, so nothing. Yeah.
If you're on the roof, you are in danger of being swooped upon by these vultures who are respawning from the team you're fighting or some other team. But if you're inside the building, they don't know you're there. They don't know exactly where you are. And they can't just clock where you're at and then land right next to you if you're inside, obviously. So that's another reason you don't want to land on the roof.
Yeah.
Also, if you land at a building and like you're having a rough time it feels like only one teammate is alive, and then the rebirth timer goes off, and then then that guy dies, and then you're the only one alive. If you're just in a blender, early game, go, or anytime actually, go to the bottom of prison as the regain spot. It's annoying to loot there, and there's a lot of little dumb rooms, and that's why I think not many people actually play there unless they're trying to regain. So you can always go to the bottom of prison and then just loot up a bunch of shit, and you're probably not going to see anyone.
Almost every single time we've regained prison, which is quite a bit, it literally hasn't been looted every time I've done it, at least. And it makes sense because, like, per square foot, the loot is fucking terrible. But since it's so big, and also you can see the loot from far away, you know where all of it's at. It's just you have to run quite a bit to get it. So it's not like you're opening a ton of doors like you would in a house or something, and then, you know, trying to find loot. It's just you see all of it. It's just spread out, and you have to run and grab it. But it's just the best regain spot, simply. And then you have so much cover. It's like people don't land there, and people also don't fight there. I feel like the only time people go there is late game when somebody else has the control of the roof of prison, and the circle's real small, so they'll be bottom prison because they don't have a choice because there's another team on the roof and they don't want to fight them. That's the only time I ever see anyone bottom prison. Yeah. So great regain spot, absolutely.
True. Yeah. It is weird how seldom I will see people there. Like, very weird. But it's true. And then the loot's pretty fucking good. It's a good regain spot for sure. So, yeah. That's another tip. Next. Yeah. So, if you're fresh dropping and you have a pistol and so does the other guy, if you think, actually, it doesn't matter. Melee them. Melee them. Under every circumstance, unless they're, I'm not kidding. Okay, I want to try and be serious. If they're 20 meters or closer and you both have a pistol, do not even try shooting them. Just run at them and try to get a melee before they do, and you'll win. Melee is just insanely overpowered in this video game. This is not specific to Rebirth Island, but it's true also on Rebirth Island. Melee is just so strong. Don't shoot people if they're close to you. If they're inside, I would say 20 meters. How far does someone need to be, Tanner?
To only smack them? Within 10 meters.
10 meters, okay.
Just run up on them. It starts tracking from so far away. Controller also has a big advantage on that because it'll pretty much turn your entire character. I was kind of testing this earlier, pre-game lobby, and it's like on mouse and keyboard, if I'm aimed even slightly to the right or left of him, it really doesn't. You can press melee and it doesn't really turn your character and start hitting that person. It's like you don't have to aim on them perfectly, but you can aim, about, let's say their arm is as wide as my arm, right? You can aim an extra arm's width off that person and it'll still melee them off their body, right? So you don't have to aim directly at them. But this happened the other day somebody killed me early round because I tried to shoot them for some unknown reason. This guy, actually, I'm not exaggerating. This is a clip. It is clipped on my Twitch. He pressed the melee button. His character swung literally more than 90 degrees, auto locked on me and beat me down. Yeah. So don't use a gun early game, especially if you're on a controller, because it's such a wide hitbox for you. And it'll just stay on that person and it'll be an easy hit. 2 smacks and they're down. Don't use a gun. Why shoot somebody in the head 8 times and you can smack them twice and down them, right?
Yeah, actually. And even if you land shots first, this has happened to me many, many times. I'm 10 meters, 15 meters, 18 meters, 20 meters from someone. We both just dropped. We have pistols. I literally break their armor. And they have brains, so they didn't even try shooting me. They didn't even waste their time. Imagine so shooting a gun in a first-person shooter, by the way. So fucking cringe. Fuck Activision. So I'm like over here, like trying my best, trying to fucking shoot them. Oh, I broke armor. Awesome. Well, no, it's not. Because they run up on me. If they hit me once, I'm cracked. I'm one shot. And also my reticle goes from where I was aiming to like my reticle's teleported like underground. You can't shoot them again. The flinch is just outrageous. And then they melee you again and you're dead. Don't waste your time. Do not waste your time shooting your gun in the first-person shooter video game. If you're fresh. If you have like an assault rifle, do it. But even then, be careful, I would say. You might want to fuck around and summon your inner Black Ops 4 player and Vundibop. So I've done this sometimes where if I like land on a roof, because I'm dumb, and some other dude does, and I actually get the assault rifle before him, start shooting, and as he's sprinting at you, get ready to Vundibop. So you start shooting, and then once he's close enough, melee. And if you get that first melee, easy kill, because you've already broken his armor. But yeah, just be real fucking careful. Everyone has hands, apparently.
Yeah, true.
In on Rebirth Island. So
true.
All right, next tip. Okay, so these are our favorite drop spots. Now, okay, so like in Verdansk, where you drop, kind of depends on where the circle is, right?
Yeah.
On Resurgence, that doesn't really matter because the first circle is going to be so big, and it won't be for a while, that you'll have plenty of time to get to the circle, no matter where it is and no matter where you are.
Yeah, you can land anywhere on the map.
Yeah, you can, and the plane. Yeah, and the island's so small that the path of the plane doesn't play into it at all either, really. Like, you can get to the farthest spot away from your plane easily on Rebirth. Like, so you can basically land anywhere for a Resurgence match at any time that you want to, which is kind of nice, because then you can like pick a spot you like and then like almost always land there. Now, the only variable then, if it's not plane route, if it's not gas, and if it's not circle, is whether or not there's a buy station. However, even that is rarely taken into consideration. So like sometimes you want to land security area, for example, but it is I have seen security area have no buy stations, and then it is not worth landing there. There's no other reason to land security unless you want the buy station and the chopper. But like every other drop spot that we like, there's always a buy station close.
Yeah.
So like our favorite at this time is Control Center. In Control Center, I have never seen it not have one or both of two buy stations. One that is literally attached to it outside, or another one that is like 30 feet away. So you could land a Control Center every game, and one or both of those buy stations will exist for that match. So Control Center is definitely.
I've never seen one of those buy stations not being there. And also, by the way, Control Center, if you haven't played Rebirth in a while, used to be construction, and construction was dog shit. There was nothing there really. But Control Center is much better. It's like, what is it? I guess it's a three-story building, and then there's the roof. So it's a great building to loot. And there's also like two buildings connected. One is 3 stories in a roof. The other is 2 stories in a roof, but you can only get on that roof if you land in and get on top of it. But yeah, I would say Control Center is by far the best. I feel like it's the quickest loadout. In terms of an area you can loot, I'm not exaggerating. We've gotten loadouts, or we've gotten money for loadouts in what? If nobody lands there, 15 seconds?
Literally.
Like it. Literally that quick. That happened to us earlier too, by the way. I was playing with Bango, L, and I think Cope at that point. We had a loadout. The first room I was in, we all got stacks. I had 2 stacks in my room. I called, okay, we have loadout. Not even 10 seconds probably. It was so fast.
Yeah. Yep.
So I feel like Control Center is a great place to land. But also it's like there's a lot of money everywhere. There's buy stations everywhere. There's probably not Well, there are bad spots to land. I would say anywhere on the east side of the map because you're so low.
True.
That you have to move up always. Or if you don't have to move up, then I'm top prison fucking you up because you're way lower than me. So you want to land somewhere that's not super, super low. And Control Center is higher up than some areas on the east. And also prison doesn't have nearly the vantage point on Control Center as it does other areas. So, yeah, that's my personal favorite. Yeah, there's always a buy there. And it's also really safe because it's on the west side of the building. And the west side of the building is a road, one shack, and then the water. So nobody's ever there. And people aren't coming from the north or the south either. There's just nobody there. It's the freest buy. You're almost never contested there. You get a quick loadout, you throw it down, and you have all your shit. The only thing you have to do is fight a team off the rip. It's either like nobody lands there or there's two other teams there and you're fighting for minutes until they're all squad wiped eventually. But pretty often there's nobody landing there and it's a quick, easy loadout. And then you push straight to top prison and we'll get into that in a second.
Yes. Yeah. So totally agree. It is very isolated. That's a good analysis, actually. I hadn't thought of a lot of that. But yeah, I think that's true. You aren't really... Like another place we like to drop is like Bioweapons Lab, for example. But if you land there, there are a couple other places that you'll sometimes get pushed from. Like you'll get pushed from, what is that fucking building called? Decon Zone?
Decon.
Yeah. You'll get pushed from Decon or you'll get pushed from like that eastern kind of row of buildings.
Yeah.
The eastern row is still a little far, but Decon people will definitely push you or at least shoot you from there. But Control Center, there's really no one. Because the closest place where people might land off the rip is tents. And even then, they don't land tents very often. They usually land in living quarters, loot it, and then go through tents and loot once they're done with living quarters.
Yeah.
That's most of the time how people do it.
Part of living quarters is tents, but they land at like the little metal shacks a little bit further than the tents. And then they start moving in. But even then, if you're on... if you're at, control, then you have a vantage point of them. You have a bunch of cover. They're running through tents that you can easily shoot through, and it's so easy to fight them. Yeah.
True. And you can wallbang the fuck out of those tents, by the way.
Exactly, yeah.
Get those live pings ready. Yes, so that's a good point. Control Center, just like Tanner said, if no one else lands there, you're guaranteed a loadout. And there's that ammo refill thing right there too, which is nice. Good point.
There are ammo refills all over the map, but there's one right there, right where we drop our loadout. I mean, we run 10 meters and we have ammo also. So
yeah. It's a great spot, for sure. That's definitely our favorite. Decon Zone is another one that we've been going to a couple times. We don't go there often though.
Decon, I feel like, is a good spot where people don't land. Have you noticed that? Decon is kind of like bottom prison. People don't really seem to go there. So I feel like it's a decent regain spot. But also if you've been getting shit on a few rounds in a row, which doesn't really happen in Resurgence because it's so easy to win. But if you're like not feeling the greatest, land Decon Zone, I feel like you usually aren't contested there and can come up with the money to buy. Now the buy stations there are dog shit, of course.
That's exactly why no one lands there, yeah.
But yeah, if nobody's landing there, at least you get guns and some money and you can buy somewhere real quick.
Yeah. That's what I was just gonna say. Is like the only problem with it really is the buy stations are just awful or they're far. Yeah. But what that means is, like Tanner said, it's probably a safe drop spot because most people aren't going to want to land there.
Yeah.
And what you can do is, like we were just saying, loot Decon and then go push bioweapons, kill whoever's there, and then you can keep going down to the buy station that's usually on the northern tip of the map. So that's another thing. And then, Bioweapons Lab is another one we like to land. Because it's on the edge of the map, so you're not going to get pushed from 360 degrees, which is nice, obviously. But be careful, don't land on the roof of Bioweapons Lab, And this tends to be a pretty hot spot. This is the hottest place of these three, for sure. So if you want to land bioweapons, land bottom or at least like second or third story, but don't land on the roof. It's not smart. It's not wise to do. You can if you're like sure no one's there, but it's far safer to just go to like those that staircase on the western side. Then you can just jump in a window from there.
Yeah.
Get some loot. So
yeah,
it's another thing. Yeah, once you do get your loadout, and actually getting loadout is easier than you guys probably think. There are a lot of people and it's dense, but there's so much cover that you can throw a loadout like pretty much anywhere and you'll be behind cover. As long as you're not dumb. Like throw it like next to a wall and you'll probably be fine. It's actually easier than... It's been easier to just get the loadout than I thought. You don't have to think very much about where you throw your loadout. You're usually not going to get ripped equipping it like you will in Verdansk, because it's just so densely built up. A lot of buildings. But whatever. Once you do have your loadout, in general, get to the roof of prison. It's dead center of the map. You're at the highest elevation possible besides the tower. End it all.
True.
And you can also you can move around a lot more, because like the tower is a cute little spot.
Well,
but you can't really do much from it.
You're dog shit if you go to the top of a tower. It's so easy to shoot them out of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're dumb. Don't ever go to tower, because I'll snipe you out of it so quickly.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Like Elle and I went to tower once, literally once, and I never did it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're getting shot from the guys on top prison. You're getting shot from the water tower. You're getting shot from behind fucking living quarters and whatever's to the right of that. The east of that. Which I don't know what it's called, but whatever. You're
Harbor maybe or something?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Whatever the case may be. Everyone looks tower. If you're there, everyone knows you're there, you're going to get shit on. So it's cringe.
The thing about top prison too is in Resurgence, I don't think it's possible to be in even like the fourth circle without prison still being in the zone. Like 100% every single time that fire sale comes up, third circle 107 or so, 105, we're always top prison and we're always in the gas. We're well in the gas. That's another great reason too, is that you can stay in it for a long time. If you land down in like security area, cool. You loot it and you have to leave, because one, you're lower than the rest of the map, and two, it's not going to be in the final circle.
Yes.
So being on the top of prison, you can stay up there for a long time, and it's such a strong position to have. And I don't know if it's just we always wipe people up there, or if people are too dumb to figure that out. I mean, we're honestly rarely contested top prison. We usually push there right after we get our loadout. We maybe kill one team there, and then we're on top prison until we're forced to move because the fourth or fifth circle is somewhere else and we have to jump off and land on a roof, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy to hold.
It is shockingly uncontested,
It's common sense. You want the high ground. You don't... Every time we have the high ground, it's so easy. You just shoot down. They have, like, all they can see is my forehead up, and I see their entire body peeking through a house. Mm-hmm. A window in a house trying to snipe me, and I just see all of them, and it's such an easy kill.
Yep. Another couple good things about it too is that when you do eventually have to rotate out of prison, you can rotate anywhere on the map. You can glide from prison and to the ocean on the northern tip or the southern tip. You can go anywhere. So rotating off of the roof of prison is so fucking free. You have elevation. You just float down to wherever the fuck you want to go. And you can float down to any rooftop you want to go to. Yeah. So like if the next circle is pushing you off prison and it's like around tent/control center, you can go, you don't have to go down to control center and then take control center roof. Instead, you jump off prison, land directly on control center roof. So even if there's a team there, you're now above them in the same building, so you're in an advantageous spot. It's just such a good spot to rotate off of.
Yeah.
That's another thing. And if you're sniping, you can get a lot of free kills because you see every single person who's dropping. And if they're not immediately dive bombing, easy snipes. Easy snipes if you're on top prison. No one can line you if they're dropping.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, people know when you're going to have to move, but if you move at the correct time before the gas is on your ass and you move ahead of time, they're all hiding because you've been shooting at all of their windows for the last 5 minutes. So they're scared to even peek you anymore because you've cracked them so many times that they're just going to hide, and you can jump off a prison roof and nobody's even shooting at you because you're just scary, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, so it's like, this is some other stuff that I wrote about top prisons. Like, you can easily get pushed up. There's ladders. There's, I guess, ladders. There's a few ladders you can get up. I think there's 2 maybe. They can push you through the gondola. They can go up through a couple rappels. I think there's 3 rappels. And then staircases. And staircases, there's 2 they can go up. But they're so easy to hold, because usually they come up the staircases. And then also, if you sit up there with a heartbeat, nobody ever has ghost. I know where they're coming from always. So I see there's 3 people to my south. I say, okay, they're probably coming up the staircase right now. Now, I don't even know what level they're on, but I see their heartbeat. So I start watching that, and all of a sudden they come running up the stairs, and it's easy kills. So holding prison roof is the simplest thing you can do. I don't think ever been wiped off of the roof. It's so easy to do. And it frankly is, it just confuses me why we're not contested up there more often. Nobody goes up there. I don't get it. It's common sense, dude. You want the high ground.
It is super easy to hold too. I might even say it's too easy, because especially like the southern side of top prison, there's the staircase, but then let's say you're coming up the staircase on the southern side of prison. Okay.
Yeah.
And now you open the door and you are on the roof officially. Turn right 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Walk 5 meters, turn right again. There's this whole cubby with walls, and if you sit in that area, no one can push you. Like, actually. So like if there's people from the opposite staircase on the northern end, you use this area and this wall to line of sight them and take the fight at your leisure. If they're coming up the stairs, you sit there and they have to completely expose themselves by getting all the way onto the roof to getting your line. If they're coming up the ladder, you're looking right at them. You can't get shot from behind because there's a wall behind you too. It's just so busted. It's so easy to hold. True.
Yeah.
True. It's a really good spot. That's where you want to be, for sure.
Yeah.
What's the best way to push up to the top of prison if there's another team there before you?
I feel like the ladders for me usually work pretty well. People aren't usually watching them. But again, I swear to God, dude, we hardly ever have to fight people up there. They don't go up there for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because the easiest spot for me to hold is when they push the staircases, but I don't think that's the greatest spot to push up through, which is, again, I'm saying it's the easiest to hold by a mile. If there's a staircase that I'm looking at and there's a ladder behind me, one little ladder on the side of the building, I'm always watching the staircase because that's where most people are going to come up. So the smart thing is probably to go up those ladders. And the rappels are okay too, but the mechanic in this game make it dog shit because you get to the top of the rappel and you're just stuck there unable to move for 3 seconds. So I don't like taking them for that reason. But I think pushing up the ladders is the best move, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say I agree. So if you know, the first thing I think you want to do is figure out which end of the roof they're on, northern or southern. If they're on the southern end, then you want to take the northern rappel. And the reason is, once you get to the top of the northern rappel, it puts your entire waist behind like an AC unit. So you're definitely exposed, but unless they're watching it actively, you can, as soon as the animation's done, all you have to do is prone and you're behind the AC unit and you're fine.
True.
So they just have to not kill you in that time, which is cringe, and the repel mechanic is absolutely dog shit, as you said. But that in general has been pretty successful to me. And there have been times where I'm coming up, they don't see me right away, so they start getting shots on, but they're on the opposite end of the roof. And if they're not sniping, they're probably not going to down me before the animation finishes, and I can prone, plate up, and then I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But then if they're on the northern end of prison, then the ladder's definitely the best, because it's hard for them to see. And also you can just like head peek it. So like you can just crawl up barely.
Yeah.
Do I see anyone looking right at me? No? Okay. Over.
Yeah. And if you do, jump off.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that, yeah, I would say don't take the stairs. Yeah, the stairs are cringe and they're a bait. I do it all the time, but it's dumb.
You're the dumbest person. That's
yeah,
why. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so easy to hold. And if you get stunned in that stairwell, see ya. You're 1,000% dead. They can just, it's so narrow. You can just fucking lob lethals. You're 100% dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't use the stairs. All right, next. Let's see. Use heartbeat sensor. Yes. Stuns are like also really good, obviously, because stuns are disgustingly overpowered if you're on the keys anyway. But like Tanner said, it is very rare that someone has Ghost in Rebirth Island. Like, I don't see people with Ghost, like, hardly at all. And
yeah,
I don't even care myself about getting Ghost that much, to be honest. Like, actually. I'll go for it when it's, like, convenient, you know? But I care way less about getting Ghost myself in Rebirth than I do in Verdansk.
I end up getting Ghost probably less than 10% of the time.
Yeah.
Now, if anything, when we get that second loadout, if it's going to stay in the circle for a while, we actually just won't get it in case we die, because it's Resurgence. We'll spawn back and just get our regular loadout. Instead of getting Ghost, I just like to save it. I think that works better, honestly.
True. That's another thing to do, too. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, because of that reason, so few people using Ghost, then Heartbeat becomes real fucking good, too. Yeah. Especially if you want to take prison. You know, like if you're not sure if someone's up top, you could heartbeat, and if no one's on your heartbeat, there probably isn't anyone there.
Yeah.
So now you might be wrong, but you're usually right. So I would say use heartbeat. I think it's really good. Stuns are too, again, but you know, heartbeat's better in this mode than in Verdansk. That's what I would say.
100%. I'm not kidding. I don't think 60 seconds go by on Rebirth without me checking heartbeat. At minimum one time. It's probably I check heartbeat every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm just constantly doing it because it's so overpowered and busted, and the buildings are so vertical that like you were just saying, you can hear footsteps above you, but you can't ever hear them below you. So it's like if I'm on the roof of prison, I won't hear anything, but I'll see 4 guys on heartbeat and it'll say 6 meters. I'm like, cool. So they're below me, 2 stories down, and I don't know they're coming up, but now because of heartbeat, I know they're there. So it's too strong to run anything else. If you're running stuns on Rebirth, just don't. Unless you play super, super aggro, I guess, and just always pushing. But heartbeat in its current state is so strong, I don't know why you wouldn't really use it.
Yeah.
Because even if you're not constantly pulling it up, it's like, I don't know. I don't ever feel the need to run stuns on Rebirth at all.
Yeah. Agreed. Next tip. As we mentioned, there is a fire sale every game in the third circle at 105. Keep that in mind when going to a buy station prior to the fire sale. Tanner, I believe this is your note. Why don't you take this one? Fire sale, as we said, third circle 105. I think it's like actually like 107 or 108. But so keep that in mind when going to a buy station before that. So keep an eye on like what time it is, what circle it is. You know, don't make the mistake of purchasing a self-res, which I've done a couple of times,
and then you realize the fire sale is 30 seconds later and you could have got a free one. So keep your eye on that. Really pay attention to it, because in Resurgence, a fire sale happens every single game. So my go-to for a fire sale, I get self-res if I don't have it. I usually buy a UAV, which is discounted to $2,000, and I typically pop that right away. And then if I have extra money, I buy Precision Airstrike, which those are discounted to $900, and I just keep that in the pocket for when I down somebody. This is a great time for your team also to pop an advanced UAV, because again, it's fairly uncommon. I would say pretty uncommon to get Ghost on Rebirth. So an advanced UAV is even stronger because there's nobody within, 250 meters where Ghost blocks advanced UAV? 250, 150? I don't know.
One of them,
but it doesn't matter. You see where everyone is at because people aren't usually running Ghost.
Yes.
So that makes advanced UAV super strong. Now, I will say this. Often we're on the top of prison when the fire sale is happening. Do not be an idiot and ruin your position and jump off of top prison just to get a self-res or to get a UAV or something. This happened earlier when I was playing. I had $12,000 at one point. We had a fire sale. We were all alive. We were all top prison. Not one of us jumped off to go to the fire sale because it wasn't necessary. We were in such a good position. You don't want to overreach and push it just to get a self-res. Like you're ruining your solid position to get a self-revive. Not worth it. True. It's Resurgence. You have 3 other teammates left. Just simply not worth it. So don't overextend because you see a fire sale happening. If you're new to Rebirth, you'll see the fire sales happening. You won't realize at first they happen every single game, right? So you're rushing to a buy station whenever it happens. Just don't. Just relax. If you have positioning, keep that positioning. Don't worry about getting to the fire sale. Because there's not a lot to buy usually on Rebirth anyways. It's like we end the game with a ton of money typically because we're not buying a ton of streaks like we otherwise would. And when the circle gets that small, there's never a buy in it anyways. So, that's my biggest thing is just don't ruin good positioning that you may have just to get like a free self-res or something.
Yeah, true. Absolutely true. Yeah. And in that same vein, by the way, let's say you did take our advice, you are on top of prison, and then a fire sale happens. Take stock of where you know some teams are. So let's say there's a team at fucking Control Center. And let's say there doesn't exist the buy station that is adjacent, that is literally attached to Control Center. Let's say it's the only buy station by Control Center is the one in between prison and Control Center. If you know there's a team in Control Center and then the fire sale happens, guess where those rats are going?
Yeah.
So immediately start looking at buy stations close to you, and if you know there are teams around them, bet your ass they're going to go to that buy station so you can just pre-aim the fuck out of that buy and see ya, just free kills. Just free kills. Because people cannot resist going to buy stations.
No, exactly.
They simply can't do it. So you can camp them too. And just like you can camp buy stations at fire sales, you can also camp loadout drops. You can actually bully people. So if you see a loadout crate pretty close to you and it's not yours, unless it despawns, it means that team's alive. So keep an eye on it. And you can literally just farm people who keep trying their hardest. They're molding, they're fucking breaking their controllers. Because all they want is their loadout, man. And you just keep spawn camping their loadout drop. That's another thing.
There will be one guy that lands there 4 times in a row and you kill him every single time laying prone, getting his loadout, but he just keeps doing it. There's always that person. Yeah. Well, you are. I'm not. You're an idiot, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's another thing you could do. All right, next. Dead silence is very common. Use them. Yeah. So in case you guys didn't know, there's this field upgrade in this game called Dead Silence. It's not new, and you've probably heard of it before. Or more appropriately, you haven't heard it before because it's dead silent. So this is a field upgrade. You pick it up, and it makes your movement Shockingly, it somehow makes your movement even harder to hear than normal, which is already just super inconsistent and dog shit. Yeah, there are a lot of them though, and it's a pretty small map. So I would say you can use dead silence more liberally than you would want to in Verdansk, because you'll see more of them. So if you're like, should I use this deady here? Just do it. Because chances are you'll find another one inside of another minute.
True. You find them all the time, but I like to use them like we were saying with the prison, the staircases. I like to use them for pushing up that, because for some reason, people keep running stuns, so they're not checking their heartbeat. They don't know that I'm coming up. So I pop a deady, I bust through the doors at the top of the stairs, and I squad wipe them, just like, it's that simple. Just squad wipe them. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
So, and then by the time you kill all those guys, there will be 2 more deadies on the ground. So they're super busted in this because of all the buildings. They make them even stronger. And there's not, like in Verdansk or something, you got to run through like a lot of open fields. So then obviously deady is useless there. You can pop a deady almost anywhere on Rebirth and just run through the entire building without being heard, right? So use them. Pick every single one up. If you see an armor box or a dead silence, don't care. Fuck the armor box. Get the dead silence.
Yeah. Or better yet, let's say you have a satchel and you have 7 plates. You're holding a deady and you come across an armor box, and everyone else has full plates on your team. You need to get out of the Verdansk mentality. Here's what you do. You pick up the box, you throw it for 1 fucking plate, don't care, and then pick up the dead silence. Just waste it. Waste it.
Waste it, yeah.
And you can do it for 1 plate. Who gives a fuck? Yeah. And also what this does, a nice little benefit too, is that now some other rat from some other team will not have the privilege of an armor box. Just waste it. You could even fuck around and throw it, even though all of you are fully plated. Don't care. Just deprive other people of using it. Yeah. Something to consider. But yeah,
agreed.
Dead silence is better than boxes, unless you need them. But then you can just throw it right away and get the dead silence anyway. All right. This next note is, I have learned this through playing this a lot lately. Sniping on Rebirth is actually a lot more effective than you would think it is, which I was genuinely surprised by. So I do significantly better when I snipe on Rebirth Island. And I also like to use an SMG instead of an AR if I'm sniping. Because what it seems like to me, the more I play this, is that people are either super far or super close. You're not going to see people at medium range. Medium range gunfights actually just don't exist on Rebirth Island. It's either you're on a rooftop shooting at some dude 300 meters away on another rooftop, or you're inside 10 meters. Like, those are the only gunfights that happen on Rebirth Island. So sniping is actually a lot more effective than you would think it would be for that reason. And that's not something that I kind of understood intuitively or like thought of before playing a lot. But the more I played, I was like, why would I ever not be sniping? Because if you use like an AR with an SMG, then if someone's on a different rooftop than you, you can't do anything. They're way too far away. But then when I would do that, I felt like I wasn't using my AR very often at all. Or if I was, it was in ranges where I could have been using my SMG instead. So I'm not saying using an AR with an SMG is like wrong on Rebirth. It's not. But sniping is a lot more effective than you would think it would be. And if you're using a sniper plus SMG, I think you can take every conceivable gunfight at every range that will actually happen, because medium range fights just don't exist. However, if you're going to use an AR with an SMG, don't use a VLK or an axial. It zooms too much. Again, if you see someone, they will never be at VLK range, and they'll never be at axial arms range. They're either too far away for a VLK, or they're way too close for a VLK. So I don't think there's ever a reason to use an AR with a VLK. Now, Tanner has a disagreement here. What are your thoughts?
I'm not kidding. I've probably never disagreed with any statement more than what you just said, you absolute dipshit.
Okay,
so for one, you said medium range engagements don't exist. Dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Most of the engagements I get on in Rebirth are medium range. We're on the roof of prison. We're shooting somebody else on a different roof. It's a medium range engagement. Long range engagements don't work. So I do agree with you. Snipers are a lot more effective than the average person would think. But it's only a Car 98 or a Swiss. Nothing else you should be using.
I agree with
on
that
Rebirth.
too. Yeah.
Obvious. I mean, most people don't use like HDRs or anything anymore.
Yeah.
But it's either Car 98 or Swiss. That's all you should be using. So, they do perform better than you think they would. I like to use a Car 98 with a Cold War AK. That's what I do. I do a Cold War AK with I do regular suppressor, Liberator barrel, a red dot, 45 round mag, and the Spetsnaz grip. And that gives me decent mobility, pretty good ADS, and really good range with zero recoil. So I can shit on kids up close. I can shoot kids from pretty far with the Car 98, but long range engagements simply don't exist at all. And yes, Tar, that is true. SPR as well. I forgot about that. SPR, Swiss, or Car 98. Obviously don't use an HDR, but yeah, so that is true. However, don't use a VLK or an Axial as cap. Cap alert, any cappers?
I've never seen you use a VLK, but this is an interesting take.
Well, because I haven't been using Modern Warfare ARs.
So why not
an Axial? I do. That's what I've mostly been. That's my main gun right now. So my main weapon is a Cold War AK on Rebirth was with an Axial, and my secondary I've been switching around. I used a PPSH for a while. Before that, I was using a Mac. Now I'm using an LC10 and experimenting with that. So that's my main loadout. And an Axial especially is really, really good. I think it's actually perfect on Rebirth because it doesn't zoom as much as a VLK. So a VLK is still good for your medium range engagements, but actually with the Axial on a Cold War AR, I'm entirely comfortable scoping inside a building with it and not having an issue because it zooms way less than a VLK. There's no issue at all using it. It doesn't zoom as much. So I think that's completely fine. I think that's actually perfect for Rebirth. Is an Axial and then an SMG with iron sights.
How often are you using an AR as your primary with the Axial and then shooting someone with it? And in that situation, if you had a holo instead or a red dot instead, you wouldn't feel comfortable taking that fight.
I wouldn't say it would be too often or I wouldn't feel comfortable, but I like being able to see people from further away. For example, when we're on the top of prison, when we're looking down to like Harbor and there's people on the roof of Harbor, I could take those gunfights with a red dot, sure, but I like being zoomed in a little bit more and seeing those people. Now, of course, that's giving me more visual recoil than it otherwise would with a red dot, and I could still probably beam them with a red dot, but it's nice to get at least a little bit of zoom out of it.
Interesting.
So that's my favorite loadout right now in Rebirth is a Cold War AK with an Axial and then whatever SMG you want to use.
Interesting. Yeah, like, I don't know. Because when I'm on top prison and I don't have a sniper, I'm just furious about it.
That's so weird. I don't ever feel that.
Like, I feel like I'm hitting shots, but I'm not finishing a goddamn soul. Like, it just doesn't happen. I don't know. And also, when I'm using a sniper with an AR secondary, the problem I kept running into is there are so many goddamn windows and ledges to get into buildings that I died probably like 4 times in one session where I had like my Cold War AK set up to be like with a sniper. I jump in a window, and because I'm not using a fucking PPSH, there's that extra beat where I can't fire yet because I'm using an AR instead of a sub, and then there's some rat in that building just fucks me. And there's like so much obstacle coursing that I'm like, this is just too slow to be navigating in buildings with. And that's why I'm like, fuck it. I'm just using a PPSH with an agency for a little extra range and a sniper. And I feel like that's way better.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think an AR with a 3 times is perfectly fine. I'm gonna go pure pick.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting. So you guys should experiment, obviously. That's always the case, but especially here. I will cap this off by saying that of all of the Rebirth Island broadcasters I watch, I can't think of anyone who uses VLKs or Axials. I feel like they all use hollows. Now, I haven't seen like a ton of streams or streamers for Rebirth Island, but all the ones I can think of right now, they're always using a hollow. Fizz, I feel like, uses hollows way more, even if his AR is his primary. Radon. Who else? There's someone else. I can't think of who it is. But, and these guys are really good too. But, yeah, I just don't see... I mean, I guess that's not... I don't know. That's kind of anecdotal because that's literally only like 2 or 3 streamers. But still, they use hollows as their primary.
I mean, I'm better than Radon. What do you want me to say? Radon, Fizz, I'm simply better than them. Clip it and
different?
ship it. I'm built different, dude. I'm better than all of them. I don't know. It feels fine to me. But also, people experiment with guns a lot more in Rebirth than
That's true,
Verdansk.
too.
So I think that's the other thing is, I mean, even today, people like, who is it today? Like Cope was using a fucking Modern Warfare M4 with the hollow sight. He's never done that in Verdansk. So you experiment more.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't think in either case, it's like terrible. It's not like using a kilo in any mode. But,
well, uninstall the game if you still use a kilo.
correct. It's not that
2021.
bad. So, but yeah. So in that case, I would say again, experiment, and see what you like. But that's been my experience. So yeah. All right, now we're gonna get into kind of our opinions on Rebirth Island, our thoughts.
Yeah.
Our fucking thoughts. Now, Tanner, this is kind of a spicy take here.
Apparently, this is a hot take, but it's not because you're wrong if you disagree. So let's get into it. Rebirth is only fun because of Resurgence. Rebirth in itself is a fine map. Mini Royale, fucking awful. Resurgence, so much fun. So to me, Resurgence feels enough like Warzone, but the fact that like you can make dumb pushes and have fun at the video game is really great. And I don't know how else to describe it other than that. It kind of reminds me of a mix between like a battle royale and ground war or something. Because it's like, it's kind of what you would think of like a ground war map, but you have all the mechanics of a battle royale, yet you can also respawn if your teammates aren't absolute dipshits, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, something that's great also about Resurgence is the skill-based matchmaking is either not existent or it's way less strict.
Yeah.
And also there's no hackers on it because hackers don't get satisfaction from killing people in Resurgence. They get satisfaction from watching Bobby Poff make a 3-minute video screaming at the top of his lungs and adding Activision on Twitter when he gets killed by a hacker. That's why they do it, right?
Yes.
There's no cheaters on Rebirth. Hardly any.
True. Actually, real and true.
Again, this morning, I saw some content creators tweeting about how many cheaters there were. I played Rebirth 4 hours today. I didn't run into one obvious cheater. There may have been one, but I didn't get aimbotted or anything. So, yeah, Mini Royale is just shit. It's not fun. You hardly have a chance to get your loadout. Most people are just fighting with ground loot weapons. It's like good luck buying a loadout. You can try to get the loadout that drops pretty quickly, but it's going to be in an awful position. It's going to be in the middle of nowhere. You're going to have no cover. So pretty much it comes down to the team with the loadout is going to win the game because everyone else is just fighting with ground loot weapons. And then you have your loadout, you have perks, you have a heartbeat, you're popping UAVs. And meanwhile, I'm running around with a ground loot green Farah looking for loot, right? So Mini Royale is fucking awful. Rebirth, I think, would be really fun if there was regular Battle Royale.
Has there ever been? That's my question.
I'm pretty sure we've talked about that. I don't know. The Rebirth veterans can let us know, and they're, of course, molding right now.
Oh, they're furious, yeah.
They're so mad. They've already turned this off, actually, so they haven't even listened to this point.
We're playing after this, by the way. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't care. Yeah, so Mini Royale's dog shit. If it was like Resurgence where it was the same size circle and I could land anywhere on the map, it would be much better. But the fact that you're just forced to hot drop somewhere and I just get bashed in to somebody's aim assist pistol just being fucking bashed over my dumb head with it. It's not fun to me. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. So fuck Mini Royale. It's not Rebirth. Rebirth is fine. That's not what makes Rebirth Rebirth. Resurgence is what makes Rebirth Rebirth. And that's what all the big you watch any like the content creators for Rebirth, by the way, they fucking hate Mini Royale too. That's what I've noticed. They all play Resurgence. That's just the most fun.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's crazy. Imagine having fun in a video game. That's what I've had the last few days is fun in a video game. Even Bango brought it up earlier. Dude, he's like, dude, imagine having fun in a video game. This is crazy. I'm like, isn't this nuts?
Yeah.
Having a good time playing. I mean, holy shit. It's crazy.
It's super wild. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We were actually we were joking about that. Like on like Thursday, maybe. I don't know. We're like, dude, we're having fun. This is so weird.
But it's serious. We're serious, actually.
But yeah, it's actually fun. Yeah, for sure. Sure. I agree with this. I think. Another thing with Mini Royale too is that the matches are even shorter than Resurgence matches.
Oh, half of the lobby is dead within actually less than 5 minutes. There will be less than 20 players left.
Yeah. So like you're getting all this player density, but it's like you're front loading all the action before you have loadout, which isn't as fun as getting kills or trying guns that are your own, obviously. And then there's like no action and it's just ratty, but it's on like but it's different scenery with more frames. It's like, yeah, kind of weird. I would love to see regular Warzone on Rebirth Island. And I don't think it's ever been done. And again, please let us know if that's true or not. Resurgence vets who are malding, of course. But I don't know why. What is the purpose? Like Mini Royale, at first you think that's more appropriate for Rebirth than Verdansk.
Yeah.
But it's actually less appropriate for Rebirth than Verdansk. Because you're making a smaller map even smaller by doing the Mini Royale scheme where the first circle is like fucking 10% of the whole map. 10% of Verdansk is still pretty big. 10% of Rebirth Island, I mean, yeah, it's just Melee City. It's like Super Smash Brothers. So, I'm
okay.
I think I'm in agreement with you on that.
Of course you are, because I'm the smartest.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So when you think of Rebirth, it's Resurgence. Nobody thinks of, oh, I love Rebirth, and then they say, oh, I love Mini Royale. No, you're lying. Mini Royale is dog shit, and it's not fun.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. On paper, Rebirth sounds very gimmicky and unfun to me, like something that would get old super quickly. So like Plunder, for example, if you're a veteran of this program, you may remember we did an episode a long time ago when Plunder came out about Plunder, about how fun it is, and we had like strategy for like how to win in Plunder, which was of course an exceptional strategy guide. But
yeah, it was exceptional.
It was so gimmicky that it became trivially easy to win, and it just got boring really fast. Like really boring, really fast. And I thought Resurgence would feel gimmicky and trivially simple in the same way that Plunder does, but it doesn't. At least not yet. I don't think it will either, because there are enough stakes to make it so death means something more than in multiplayer. But they're not so strict that you're just never getting your guns again. And even if you do have a bad game, you're back in one real quick. As compared to Warzone, it's like you can have a Warzone match, if any of you have played Warzone before, you have, where you spend 10 to 15 minutes looting, you die, and he's probably cheating, and then you just wasted 20 minutes. And it's like, that's so frustrating. And on Resurgence, it doesn't happen. If you just get shit on, at least it only took 2 minutes, you know, and then you're back in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a really good time. And I'm surprised that it doesn't sound gimmicky and unfun to me. Because I think you had the same opinion, didn't you? That on paper it sounds this way?
That's why we've never really given it a proper chance, yeah. And so it's
Exactly.
So we're Rebirth noobs, right? But we've actually win probably, 40% of the games we play? Actually. I mean, it's so easy to win on Resurgence. It's a lot of fun, but I think it's because we're winning because the skill-based matchmaking is super low.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great. I'm not, that's the other thing with mini royales. I noticed right away that every single kid was slide canceling around a corner in a rose skin and just aim assisting the fuck out of me.
You know what I think it is I don't know if the SBMM is less strict, but all the kids who are really good at this game don't play Resurgence.
Oh, yeah. They're all on Verdansk,
Yeah.
Absolutely stomping the lobbies. Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah.
Because we did see the same people running in Resurgence in the same night. Like we saw them like two games in a row where like we played a game, killed them, and then like 2 games later we saw them. That doesn't happen in Verdansk. I kill somebody, I never see that person again ever in my life.
Yeah.
That could be too. There's just far less people playing it, so the skill-based matchmaking is not strict whatsoever, or it's just, average players.
Yeah. True. But either way, that translates to more fun games, in any case. So, yeah, true. Which is nice. Also, this is a good point. The performance is way better. You get more frames, a lot more frames. If you're on like PC, if you have stuttering issues or anything on Verdansk, you probably don't have them on Resurgence. And you can see people.
Yeah.
And this is what's fucking crazy, because one of the things that makes me the most angry about Warzone is the inability to see enemy players. I don't think I've literally ever died because I just didn't see someone who's on my screen on Rebirth Island.
True.
I'm not, dude, I swear to God, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
If I play Warzone for 2 matches or more, I will be shot by someone who's on my screen that I can't see.
True.
But on Rebirth Island, it hasn't happened yet, actually, which is insane.
I mean, for some reason, if you're listening to this right now and you think these guys are fucking dumb, I see people fine on Verdansk. Here's what I want you to do. Load into Rebirth, play Rebirth for 4 hours, go back to Verdansk. The very first thing you notice is, holy shit, the game looks awful. The visibility is terrible. It is such a big difference.
True.
I think it was yesterday we were playing. The absolute dipshits I was playing with wanted to go into Verdansk. I was like, oh God. So we queued Verdansk for like 1 or 2 games. Holy shit. I'm getting 60 to 80 less frames. I can't see people. The colors are disgusting. I can't look east. It's fucking awful. I mean, honestly, playing Rebirth these last few days has made me not want to touch Verdansk until they fix the lighting issue, which hopefully, crossing my fingers, will come in Season 4 in about 11 days. About 11 days, yeah. That's what I would love to see. Because it's unplayable after you queue into Rebirth a few times and see how much better it looks.
True. I mean, again, you guys would be amazed listening how much more fun first-person shooters are when you can see people. It's actually that simple. Like, if this was the only difference, if Rebirth Island was just Verdansk where I could see people, I would like it so much more than Verdansk.
Oh God, yeah.
Not to mention all of these other like positives it has.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, if we get a lighting update in Verdansk with Season 4, that will be a much better and bigger change for me than the 1984 version that released in Season 3 was. I would be way happier if we just got a lighting overhaul. Fuck the map. They could have not even changed Verdansk and given us a lighting overhaul at the start of Season 3, and I would have been way happier, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Rebirth just looks so nice.
True. It's fucking shocking. It's shocking that this game exists on the MDub engine. Like, that's how good it is.
Well, it just shows you how awful of a job. Well, I guess we can't even blame Infinity Ward anymore because that lighting update, Infinity Ward had nothing to do with it. So they don't have anything to do with Verdansk right now. So that's all Raven and whoever else is working on it. So fuck Raven Software. Fuck Activision, of course, because they made that change.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Another reason, by the way, I feel like Rebirth isn't full of sweats is because Rebirth Resurgence doesn't count towards like your overall Warzone KD and everything and wins. So none of those kids, they're not getting their stats for it. So they're just simply not playing it because their KD isn't going up every single game, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's another good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of the lighting thing we were talking about is like how we can see people on Rebirth is I did my own little test earlier, right? And I was staring at the sun in Rebirth. I had my gun and I was simply staring at the sun. There are no sun rays that blind you. It's like looking anywhere else on the map. It doesn't affect it whatsoever. So it's not even that with Rebirth that they move the sun up higher. It's that they completely changed how the sun puts out the rays and how it like reflects the light onto the map. And that's what makes it so much better. So it's like Verdansk could easily change that, even with the sun in the same place. It's just they coded it and designed it fucking horrible. So, it's like I don't know how they're going to change it exactly. It's like they could simply just leave the sun where it's at. Actually, just don't make it so I get blinded with rays when I look that direction, because I look directly at the sun in Rebirth and I don't get blinded.
Yeah. Yep, it really is that simple. I think probably what happened was iDub made this game and they made the visibility awful. And then Raven was kind of working with that template to make 1984. So all they really had to do was like paint some buildings a different color. It's pretty much all that changed anyway. But it's still Infinity Ward's map, really. I mean, it's the same goddamn map. So yeah. I think when Raven decided to make visibility better on Rebirth Island, they did an excellent job. If they could do it there, I think they can do it for Verdansk. I really do. And I like you, I am praying that they do for season 4. That would be the best change Warzone's ever gotten. I'm not kidding.
Literally. Better
than the DMR nerf, better than the new map, better than fucking the taking out demon polygon transmog. Better than all of it, dude.
Yeah.
All of it. So
simply just give us better lighting.
Just let me see people.
It sucks too, because other than that and cheaters, Warzone is as good as it's ever been. You know, the weapon meta is fantastic, and then as you've heard us say 294 times on this show, they can never get everything perfect. One thing is great, the weapon meta is the best it's ever been. Cheaters are the worst they've ever been.
Yep.
You know, it's like it's like weapon balance is fantastic, and then you can't fucking see anyone, so it doesn't matter. It's always something, dude. They are incapable of making a perfect game.
Yeah. They really are. They're
allergic to it.
They're allergic to having the game be in a playable state. That's what I would say. True. If they stamp down on cheaters, then the DMR kills you in one shot to the foot. Yeah. If they take that bug out, then cheaters are a disaster. If they fix both of those things, then everyone's stim glitching. I mean, they can't have the game be playable. It's just never been playable before. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So what's next after they fix the lighting? It's going to be cheaters, because those are never going to go away. And what else? Well, something new will come up that's a disaster that'll ruin the game after the lighting. It'll be something different. It'll be game crashes or something. The perfect sun not blinding me will be giving me dev errors every game. That's what it'll be, probably.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
They can't do it, dude.
I know.
It's like it's in their contract. Don't make too good of a game now. Relax. Yeah. Have some issues. I mean, they have to have issues or they're just useless, right? Because they have a perfect game. There's nothing to update every week. Then Raven starts laying people off.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
The game. There's nothing to change anymore, dude.
Yeah.
You guys need to start coming up with some issues. You're all going to get laid off. That's their thought process, probably.
Yeah, it's possible. It's for sure possible. So. Anyways, yes, real and true. Next thought on this mode. Resurgence is an exceptional way to test out guns because you're in and out of matches so quickly, and it's so easy to get a loadout because it's cheaper, and you always see enemies, even more so than in Plunder. It's just great. Like, now in Plunder, you spawn in with your guns, sure, but you're still on Verdansk, number one. And also, you can't get friends to play Plunder with you to test guns.
If you have friends and they're willing to play Plunder with you, unfriend that person.
True,
because they should be telling you to play Warzone
Friends
instead.
don't let friends play Plunder.
They should be telling you to play Battle Royale.
Right.
Now, Benji, I'm sorry. I know you main Plunder. I'm sorry. You're a boomer, though, so you can take it.
Yeah, you get
Stop playing Plunder. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try Rebirth instead, actually. If you like Plunder, try Rebirth. You may enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Resurgence is just a great way to test out guns. Because again, yeah, you're in and out of matches so quickly, and you always see enemies. Again, to restate this, the map is so small that you're always going to see people, and it's mainly, though, I think, that you're in and out of matches so quickly, even more so than in Plunder. Now, I guess you could load into Plunder, try something, and then like back out, sure. But it's going to take longer to fill that lobby because it's 150 people. It just seems better. Resurgence seems like it's better to test guns on. I think the only reason I think that is because I play Resurgence with people. No one in their right mind is going to test guns with me in Plunder, as they shouldn't. They're correct for not doing that.
If you ask me to play Plunder, I'm actually laughing out loud and saying, what? No, what are you fucking talking about,
I'll
idiot?
call an ambulance to go to your home because you're obviously
call an ambulance, call an ambulance. Not for me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think Plunder is a great way to level up guns still and practice with guns because you can change your loadouts mid-game, which you can't do on Rebirth. But biggest thing about Plunder is it's going to make you think every single gun is insane, busted, overpowered. You're Nick Merckx over here, right? You're about to make a video saying that the Striker 45 in Modern Warfare is overpowered and busted because you got a few kills with it. It's because nobody's ever fully played it. Try finding plates in Plunder. You won't. Now, Rebirth, there's plates fucking everywhere. So everyone's fully plated. So it's close quarters. The games are quick. If you're dog shit, you're losing quickly. Our games last longer because all we do is win.
All we do is fucking win, yeah.
Shout out to
Pilot Pete, friend of the pod.
Yeah. Pilot Pete, he knows us by name, the helicopter pilot, because we're in his chopper so often.
Yes,
it's that simple.
Correct.
So at least people are fully plated on Rebirth. You have that going for it. So all in all, Plunder is still really good way to level up weapons. But if you want a real world scenario of how it's actually going to go in Verdansk, Rebirth may be a better option for you.
Yes.
So,
yeah, for the plate aspect as well. Yeah, agreed. Like I've tried literally every Cold War AR now because of Rebirth. And like, even if
I'm on my third SMG of the game,
yeah.
I mean, of the day trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it was easier to do in Plunder, which maybe it is actually, the more I think about it, I don't have the attention span to play Plunder to test that many guns because it's so boring. But playing Resurgence testing guns is you're like having fun while you do it because your friends will play with you. Now, if you don't have friends, as most of you don't, join the fucking Discord and make some because everyone here is a fucking loser. Mostly Tanner.
Oh, you guys are fucking losers.
Yeah, so join the fucking
Discord. You're
Discord.
listening to this, you're a loser.
True.
That's fine.
Yes, absolutely. You should, yeah. You should be ashamed. Join the fucking Discord, of course, and then you can get friends to play Resurgence with you. But no one in our Discord is going to play Plunder with you. Or I'll ban them. Let me know.
Benji will, so.
Well, Benji's dying. Let him do what he wants.
He's a boomer for sure.
He's a boomer, so. And then this next note is yours, Tanner. What are we at?
I was just going to say, so kind of to sum this all up, yes, we're Rebirth noobs, but relax. We've been playing this for less than 5 days and we have probably 30 wins at least. I mean, we get so many wins, it's ridiculous because it's easy and it's fun. So, for you guys out here saying, oh, dude, I have, 700 wins in Rebirth, I don't fucking care. I would have 3,000 wins if I was playing Rebirth since it came out, right? Because it's easy to win and it's fun. So, stay mad, Rebirth gamers. More than anything, this is to convince people to try something new until they fix the lighting in Verdansk, because once you play Rebirth for a few hours, you're going to say, holy shit, Verdansk is unplayable because I can't see anything. And it's all fucking green, right? Every single thing is green. 1,000 shades of green. That's what Verdansk is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. So well said. And this is kind of what we said at the outset, is this is going to be good for two people. One group of people is people who do play already Resurgence or Rebirth Island, and they can maybe get a fresh perspective or just laugh at how wrong we are about things. Sure. Another thing is to listen to us make a case for why Resurgence is more worth playing than you perhaps thought it was. Because again, we had the same attitude before we actually tried it, which is that Resurgence sounds too gimmicky and it sounds like it won't be fun. But then we tried it, and it turns out it's a lot of fucking fun. And it does get competitive, like especially if you're trying to win. Like if you want to win in Plunder, I'm not kidding. You can literally win a game of Plunder without shooting your gun once. Actually, all you have to do is loot enough money. Like you can literally do it.
I get top 3 in Plunder when I'm trying to test out weapons. I get top 3 literally not even trying, just running around killing people. And I'm like, dude, how am I marked on the map? Why am I top 3 right now? I haven't looted a crate in 10 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Yes, exactly. And unlike Plunder, if you're going to win in Rebirth, it will get competitive toward the end. Not every game, but most of the time you're going to have to actually like get some kills, Well, every time you're going to have to get kills, but most of the time it's going to be like there's going to be some competition. It's going to be tough. Not for us because we're gods, but for you peasants listening. So Rebirth is worth playing. And this is our appeal to that second group. People who play Warzone and think Resurgence is beneath them or it sounds too cheesy. Try it. Trust me. There are a lot of benefits. And I would also say that, especially until Season 4 comes out, get on the Rebirth train so you can play Call of Duty and have fun, and just hope Season 4 is good. Hopefully Season 4 brings better lighting to the map so you can see people, and there's a giant ban wave so that they can sell more store bundles.
Yeah. One of those things are plausible, the other's not going to happen.
That is, of course, true. But this is a good way to have fun, keep your chops, and not fucking mauled. And also, if you're playing Warzone and you're like sick and tired of the cheaters, play some Resurgence, you won't see them. Everyone who cheats does Verdansk. Like everyone. I think we've literally seen like 2 or 3 people. And in the amount of time we've played in the past 7 days, if those hours had instead been in Warzone, we would have seen, I'm not kidding, probably 40. Just so many more. They're just so much more common. So if you're also malding because people are cheating, this is another good thing to do. So last cheaters question. Unsubscribe from this podcast. Last question: Warzone / Verdansk or Rebirth Island / Resurgence? What do you prefer?
Well, right this second, without a doubt, Rebirth Resurgence, and it's not even fucking close. Now that would be a way harder question to answer if I could see people looking east on Verdansk, So if I could take a gunfight and face that general direction and see the person, that would be pretty cool, I think. I think I may have fun playing Verdansk if I could do that. But because I can't right now, I just can't stand it. And like I was saying, it's like it seems it's bad, but then you go and play Rebirth and you realize how bad it really is. I mean, it's awful. Yeah. Don't go from Rebirth to Verdansk right now. So seriously, I'm probably going to play as little of Verdansk as possible before Season 4 and just hope there's a lighting change. If there's not, whatever. We'll obviously be back in Verdansk soon. But Rebirth is really, really fun right now. Hasn't gotten old yet. Maybe we just haven't played it enough. But there's plenty of people that main Rebirth and they main Resurgence, and they're still playing it months later. So, you know, maybe
really
it won't
good
get boring.
people too.
Yeah, a lot of the biggest Call of Duty TikTokers are Rebirth gamers, actually. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
My thoughts on this are, I mean, in some sense, it's too early to tell, which is kind of like what Tanner was saying.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't played it that much, but I'm with you. Definitely right now, no question, it's Resurgence. The lighting is a huge one, but even more for me is just the goddamn dog shit pests cheating every fucking game. And it's just so demoralizing to spend 10 minutes looting, you get your loadout, and then some dude with an iron sight FR556 and single fire just aimbots your entire team, and there goes 15 minutes of your time. It's just so awful. So I'm literally not playing Verdansk until I have it on good authority that there are not nearly as many cheaters as there are right now. It doesn't matter. Even if Verdansk had higher frames and better visibility than Rebirth Island, I still would prefer Resurgence, only because there are so many fucking cheaters in Verdansk right now. It's unplayable. There is an infestation. And I mean this in the literal definition of the word. There is an infestation. It is overrun with pests, with vermin, with rats, with cockroaches, with mites. It is unplayable right now, if only for the cheaters. So I'll be playing Resurgence until they fix the fucking cheating problem or make it better for a week. So then I'll play it for a week, and then when the cheater rashes up again, I'll go back to Resurgence, and I'll have no problem with that.
I don't know what happened. I'm calling back in.
Okay. So that's what I would say. Any other thoughts on that, Tanner?
Well, I mean, the cheating problem is never going to get fixed ever, but yeah. I agree with that. It's new and it's fun for us. And yeah, it's like after playing Resurgence probably for a few weeks straight, it won't be as fun. But if you're winning in Warzone ever, I think you're going to have a decent time at least, right?
Yeah.
And it's not really possible to win Resurgence without getting a good amount of kills. You can't just camp the entire time like you can in Verdansk and like go for a no-kill challenge. I feel like that's almost impossible to do on Resurgence. So it's like you're getting a lot of kills.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
agreed. Yeah.
It's just fun.
Action.
I like it a lot. Yeah, way more action. Great pace.
And that's another thing that we should probably say is that if you're like a multiplayer gamer, like you mainly like to play like Shoot the Ship or like Nuketown 24/7, but you want to get into Warzone, start with Resurgence, because it's a good middle ground between multiplayer and like action packed and Warzone where deaths matter. It's like right there in the middle, and you can use this as a stepping stone to get into battle royales if you want to do that, if you're going from the multiplayer angle, because it's a lot more action than fucking regular Warzone. There's like no doubt about it.
Yeah.
That's another thing too.
Yep.
Another thing. So, all right. Tanner, anything else?
Nope.
All right. All right, bitches. That was our Saturday episode. It was a real episode, and we hope you enjoyed it. Again, give it a try. If you're a Warzone main, give it a try. Especially if you're fucking mauling at cheaters. Something worth looking into. So that's it. The Dropshot.com is updated, by the way. We now have a link to our TikTok on there. We fixed some other issues. Our web developer guys got everything sorted. We have to kind of comb through it, but I suspect that that's true. So the website got a little bit of an update that it needed, which is good. And what does that mean? Founders are coming soon. FAQs are going to be added soon. And, or FAQs going to be added soon. And then the shop is like the next step. We're a lot closer than we were before because we got all the shit we were working on done. Tanner, are the Damascus patrons listed on the website? I don't know if they're not. Did he say anything about that in the doc? You probably don't have it.
No, he said something about the founders. I didn't look at the document though.
Interesting. Okay. Let me see. I'm just taking a quick look here. Yeah. So I'll have to talk to them about that because I think that was something we had talked about, but I think he said something about it. So, regardless, the founders will be added soon as well, and I'm going to try and get the Damascus patrons listed up there. The reason that they're not already there is because apparently Patreon API was like fucked or something. So yeah. So we'll look into that, but the shop will be coming hopefully pretty soon. We got to figure out what we're doing with that shit. Did you ever talk to Boopsy more?
No, we finished talking about everything we needed to. It's just up to us now to look into some things.
Got it. The Archduke Tartar Bits asked, when are you getting Fizz on the show? Fizz, the king of anime movement, has an open invitation to be a guest on the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast. We would be very thrilled to do that. We would be honored.
Well, I was just typing in chat. We'd have to start the program at about midnight Pacific time in order for Fizz to be online, right?
That's not a problem.
Because he simply streams from midnight to, I don't know, because I'm asleep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, whatever. We would love to have Fizz on. So, if he's open to that, then, yeah, let him know. That would be cool. That'd be awesome. We watch Fizz a lot. And Tanner loves his emotes as well. So
the best emotes on Twitch, hands down by a mile.
Yeah. So that would be great. But anyways, yeah, dropshot.com, thedropshot.com, figure it out. Patreon's the best way to support the program. We do fucking 5 bonus episodes a month. We do weekly hangouts. We do gameplay breakdowns and more. You can see all the details on the Patreon, and you can find the Patreon again, patreon.com/thedropshot, or go to thedropshot.com. There is a Patreon linked there, and everything is linked there. So that's going to be your little fucking hub. And the TikTok is linked there now too. So that's going to be, that's cool. Follow that as well. So with that said, motherfuckers, we're done. Thank you, boys and girls, all of you, for listening. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.